I'll tell you a little story. This is our time for communion. And I remember when I first started coming out to church and thinking about communion in my early years, I thought about, what's in it for me? My prayer life in its infancy was basically around, will this ease me? Will this please me? And I ran across this article, mini thought, on the internet, and I thought I would read it to you. It says, I asked God to take away my bad habit. God said no. It's not for me to take away, but for you to give up. I asked God to grant me patience. God said no. Patience is a byproduct of tribulations. It isn't granted, it's learned. I asked God to make me pure and without lust. God said no. Purity is a choice. And I give you good friends to help you choose wisely. I asked God to give me happiness. God said, no. I give you blessings. Happiness is up to you. I asked God to spare me pain. God said, no. Suffering draws you apart from worldly cares and brings you closer to me. Right. I asked God to make my spirit grow. God said, no. You must grow on your own, but I will prune you to make you fruitful. I ask God for all things that I may enjoy life. God said, no. I will give you life so that you can enjoy all things. Finally, I asked God, help me love others as much as He loves me. God said, finally get it. I think it's easy for us to pray this way. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, you're in good company. Paul prayed 3 times to have this thorn taken from his side, right? And I think there's a lot of examples in the Bible, and there's a lot of examples in our own lives of how we really should pray and what the focus is. If you look in Matthew 26, we'll go to the master prayer warrior. In verse 36, it says, then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, sit here while I go over there and pray. He took Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to him, my soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me. Going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, my Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. And then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. Could you men keep watching with me for 1 hour, he asked Peter. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away and prayed a second time, my Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done. When he came back, he again found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. The difference in our prayers and Jesus' prayers is he's so focused on the Father. And we come to communion at a time where we need to focus on the cross, or we should focus on the cross. That should be our focus.
Amen.
And yet, sometimes we can easily fall into that, will this please me? Will this ease me? Will communion take care of me? And God is love. God gave us the cross so that we would have love for one another and we would have love for Him. I find it so comforting and so amazing if we just step out of the things that we think we should pray for. I should pray for happiness. I should pray to be patient. But if we just pray for love, God is so pleased. Let's focus on that. Let's pray. Father, you are amazing. you are so deep. God, it's so good to be reminded. I need to be reminded all the time, every week. I think that's why you said for us to take communion weekly, because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to get caught up in the things that we think will ease our fears. God, even when we think of things that are righteous, but God, you want us to focus on one another. You gave us a great example. God, Jesus loved us so much that he gave himself on the cross. It's amazing. I pray that we can remember that and stand in awe of your love, the ultimate sacrifice. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.